here is my 2 cents worth energy read for the month of December 2023. One of the first things that came forward when I lent into the month was this image of white light, and I saw it literally as a white background with a sort of like circle in the middle. This is a couple of things. At the moment, I'm pretty sure right now, the 4th and the 5th, there's a lot of solar flares, sort of light coming into the planet at the moment. So there is a lot of light coming in. There may be more this month, I'm not sure. That is affecting us on many, many levels, physically and mentally, emotionally. So just being aware of that, excuse me, as that happens, it can be quite exhausting for our physical systems when more light comes in. When I lent in some more about light, it was that this month also is a little bit lighter. The energetics of it feel a little bit more uplifted, and like we've actually been through something and we're kind of on the other side of that energetically, and we're into a space now where it feels just a little bit lighter. It feels to me like we've gone up a notch, and I actually really see that as like we've taken a step up. It's like we have a new vantage point. Like we've been on a climbing up the mountain these last few months. You know, we've kind of known we've been going somewhere, but not really sure where. And this month we're sort of taking that last step for now up this journey, up this hill that we've been climbing. And we've reached a new vantage point. We've sort of reached a plateau, and we can see a new vision. And I literally saw that as like when you can imagine going to an art museum and someone's painted one of those massive murals of a village scene or something, and it covers like, it's like a map, but it's a mural. That was the image that I saw. It's kind of like, here we are at this place where we can see so much more of this vision or image, or we have a greater awareness. Something about what we're seeing has expanded. In part, it's because of this journey we've been taking, and we've kind of come to this point this month where we've taken this extra step up, and we've reached this landing where we've had this whole new perspective, a new vantage point. And so what we can see from this vantage point is, the word that came forward for me was channels. We're able to see more clearly paths that we want to follow, or a path that we want to follow. We've got a better sense of direction, where, oh gosh, now I've got to try and read my notes. We've done some of the hard climb, and now we get to understand better and see more clearly what that was all for. So I got this vision of like, this kind of look like slides going down from this vantage point that we have through this, you know, epic mural. But really what I see is that I get this image and this idea that we now have a bit more of a better sense of direction, and like we can see off in the distance. I saw it as like, you know, this shining building, or this temple, or this like building, or this like glowing castle or something. It was a very rich imagery this month. That is like where we're headed. And from this new vantage point that we've come to, we know, and we've got a sense of, that's where I need to be heading, that's where I need to go, that's what I want. And we also can see through the image of this mural, it's kind of like in front of this building in the far off distance of the mural, the start of a path through, you know, the people and the buildings and the forests and the trees and all of that to this place. We don't see the full journey and the full road ahead, but we see the start of the path. So we know we're getting a sense of where we can begin. And I get the feeling that what we're also doing, I see we're sort of like prepping now for the beginning stages of this next part of the journey. And I see us literally like beginning to really let go of some things. And the thing that I wrote was that we've really left some things behind, the heaviness of previous months. I see us literally shedding a few coats, like taking off some extra layers of clothing that we've been carrying around, putting down some bags that we don't want to be taking on this part of the journey, and only taking with us what's essential. And this, I wrote, what was really interesting about this image was that it feels like it's a lot less than we expected. You know, we've carried around all of these things, and I think this was October, these shoulds. Should be doing this, should have that, should be like that. And the real feeling here is now, as we begin to take these next steps of this next part of the journey, like some of these bags we're putting down, some of these coats we're taking off, were like, there was a lot of shoulds I was carrying around, and really, essentially, I only need like 2, 3, or 4 things to get me by for now. Like some of the things that we were sifting and sorting through that we did in October and November to find what was really aligned for us, really left us with, like I just said, 2 or 3 things that felt truly valuable. And when I say they felt truly valuable, it was that we really understood that and appreciated the value the things had that we found were in alignment for us. And it was really clear to us that actually that will get me by for now. If I can find in my life through this journey I'm going through this journey of maybe like shedding lots of old, discovering new, and I only have 1 or 2 things in my awareness that I know feel like really aligned for me, that's enough. It's enough to get you going. You don't have to have the full picture here. You just need to have the starting sense of what's truly aligned for you and what's valuable to get you going, because the real feeling here is that the journey is what's revealing the rest of this for you. You just need to have those kind of 2, 3, 4 really clear pieces for yourself to get going, and literally you can leave the rest behind. Let's see, what else have I got here? We feel good with the clarity that we've gained and connected with what we've found, and we're ready to start making some progress on this next leg of the journey. I saw us like, as this kind of like, the hero on the hero's journey. We're excited to take this journey. We all know how the hero's journey goes, but we're at the start of this hero's journey. We're excited to embark on this process, and we're like gearing up for it. So there's a bit of that energy. There's 2 other things that really struck me that came through with this, and there was a star I saw that as kind of like really beautiful bright star up in the sky, just sitting up in the sky, kind of like shining on us. That feels like this is like felt like an idea, a spark, a vision, something that is guiding us, like a North Star. And it stays in the sky all the while we are taking this journey, and we feel like we are being led, being guided, being watched over by this star. And it helps to light the path for us, helps us see in the dark when we're setting up camp for the night when no moon is present. Now I sat there and I was like, okay, that's beautiful. What on earth does that mean? And so I leant into that, and it said, or what I garnered from that was that this means that trust what's calling you on the inside. Trust where you're being led. Trust that you are being guided always. And that guidance is always there, even when times feel dark. So again, I think these last few months we've been really, even last month, the call was that we really were sensing this sort of some inner light, some sense of what we were here to do. And really, I want you to lean into, we are always being guided in some way, and we each individually have how that comes into our life. It can be intuitively, it can be through literal daydreams we have, it can be through the desires we have. I want you to trust what's leading you, really trust it and follow it. And you're following this already by taking this leg of the journey, but you have to hold on to your trust in it. Another image that I saw of us was that that is for us, once we've set up camp here on our journey, is really stopping to sit by this campfire and rest. And what I got for that was, while we may be excited by the clarity we've gained, or by what we can now see as, from this new vantage point, as the path in front of us that we can now take, the beginning part of this path, it's not a sprint to get there. It's a journey, and it's a process. And you showing up with respect to that process means that who you will become through this process, through this journey, I gotta turn the page, will be a version of you who truly embodies the lessons and learnings and growths growth that this path will bring you. So make sure to stop and rest and take good care of yourself along the way. Much is changing within us. That's for everybody, consciously or unconsciously. But if you're watching this, it is a conscious choice. You are choosing your path. You're doing the work. And much is changing within us, and that too is a process. Like eating a meal, we need to chew properly to get the most nutrients out of the food. The food then needs to be gradually broken down inside of our body and digested before we can fully absorb the nutrients and then put them to good use in our physical bodies. Now, that means don't try to skip over the lessons. When we apply this to our journey, don't try to skip over the lessons. Don't try to rush the process. It's all happening in divine timing. Each moment has its purpose. Each lesson that arises needs your full and undivided attention and awareness to extract the fullness of nutrients and information from it to truly integrate it into your system. So don't rush. Take your time, slow down, and be more and more present. There's so much to learn, and presence will give you the full access to all of that information. Well, there you go. That was my energy read for December. Really, that we're at the beginning of what feels like an exciting part of the journey for us. Hopefully you have been able to gain some clarity, and hopefully it's even just one or two things. It doesn't have to be the full picture. It's never going to be the full picture. Like I said, we've got this vision of the mural, right? But it's still a very busy full scene, right? It's not our full life picture. It's just the picture through which we can see the first part of our path to this place that we're heading. So trust whatever is that guiding light within you. One or two pieces of clarity, one of two pieces or things that feel fully aligned for you is all you need to take the first steps. I would love to hear if any of that resonates for you. That was completely unexpected as I brought that through this morning. Are you sensing this feeling like you have a glimpse of the beginning of your path? Do you feel like you've got those one or two pieces of what I'm really clear is aligned for me, and that you're ready to maybe begin to start this journey? I would love to hear from you. Wishing you all the best for the month of December. Sending you so much love.